Hello guys, and welcome to a little series of videos that I'm putting together for After Effects just as a reminder of stuff that we've covered in class. Anyone watching this on YouTube, this series is primarily intended for my students, but you're welcome to watch along and get any information out of it that you want. If you have any ideas, please leave comments underneath, or if you have any questions, please leave comments underneath. This series of videos is just going to be basics of animation. It's not going to get too complicated. If you want to expand upon it, there are thousands of After Effects videos on YouTube already who can explain a lot of this stuff and probably explain it better than I can. But this little series should hopefully answer a few questions, especially if you're one of my students and you're just looking to recap some of the stuff that we've done in class. So this first little video is just setting up your composition in After Effects, a few things to look out for. Go try and keep them short, 5-10 minutes each, and then we'll move on to different topics with each video. So we will click over to After Effects here, and this video just going to show you how to set up a new composition and also import a few assets. So here is our basic After Effects window, and to start a new composition, we're just going to go up to Composition, click on that, go New Composition, click on it, and we get this window here. So a few things to be aware of. We've got a composition name, which will just be Comp1. We can leave that as is, but might as well get into a good habit. We'll call this one Test Scene. Just give it a name. Get used to giving things names. Next most important part here is width and height. You'll see this text highlighted blue. This, for my students doing your assignment, you've got a specific setting you have to use of HD resolution 1920 by 1080. So we can either click on this and type that in manually, or if you're not sure about that, we've got presets here. Click on this little drop down box and we can slide down and pick what one we want. Now we've got a lot of presets here. What we should choose is this one here, HDTV 1080 29.97. The 29.97 refers to the frame rate that we're going to be using. So we've got a couple other options. We have 24. 24 is typically for film that you see in cinema. Typically would have been shown at 24 frames a second. 25 is PAL TV, so TV that you would have saw in Europe, UK, I think Australia as well would have been PAL. And 29.97 is the NTSC frame rate, so that would be America, Japan, China, Asia, and a few other countries as well. But online, YouTube video also tends to go at 29.97, so we're going to stick with that, 29.97. And you'll see here, frame rate, 29.97. It's changed our width and height. Only other thing we might need to touch is here where it says duration. So duration in After Effects, if we start from the right, it goes from the number of frames, which is the number of still images of each animation. So frames, then seconds, then minutes, then hours. So at the minute, this duration defaults to 10 seconds and 0 frames. 10 seconds probably be enough just to show you what's going on here. So if you want to, you can change the color of the background. That'll be kind of clear and visible anyway, but we can set it to be a different color other than black. But we'll leave it as black. Black tends to be the default color most people use. So we just hit OK. And there you'll see that we get a blank rectangular square here. This is our viewport looking at the video. There's nothing there, so we're just looking at the space. It's black, it's just there'll be nothing there. We've got nothing in our timeline, and we've got nothing in our project window. So what we're going to do is we're going to import a couple of files in here. Go to File, Import, and File. So I'm going to navigate to a couple of files here. Let me see, which one do I want? Okay, so I've got two files here. I'm going to bring these in. That didn't bring them in the way I want. Let me retry that. File, import. In fact, I'm going to import them one at a time there's something else I want to show you. When you import, in fact I can maybe do it for both. Okay, I'll show you this one for this wee file called Critter. I'm going to make these files available to you as well. This wee file called Critter, the import as down here, it's going to default to footage, but I want you to change that to composition retain layer sizes. Very important reason for this. This is a Photoshop file. Photoshop is made up of a number of different layers. If we bring that in just as footage, the default type, it'll collapse all those layers just into one flat image, and we can't then manipulate the layers. Instead, we want to import this as a composition retain layer sizes, and that way it still retains all that layer information. So hit import. There we go, that's the wee window I was looking for. Yep, just hit OK there. And bring in the other one. I'll just try to bring in the other one the other way here. Make sure this window comes up. Import file, contraption. Just double click contraption. Yes, it brings up this wee window here. If you just double click on it, it'll probably bring this up, and it might say footage in here instead. Again, just make sure that's set composition retain layer sizes. There we go. And what this does over here in our project window that was previously blank, it now has some stuff in there. We've got our test scene composition, which is what we're working on here, which has nothing on it. We've got a composition called Critter. It'll give you a little preview there, and it will also give you a new folder with all these files in it. Now, our Photoshop file contained these 6 different layers. So all this is doing is it's split those into the separate layers and showing us them individually. And then we have the composition which has them all together. Contraption, same thing. It was originally a Photoshop file and it's now split into the separate layers. So what I can do, for example, I can double click on the critter and he's going to open up here and you're going to see the critter. You'll notice that down below on our timeline we have a couple of tabs. We've got the critter, we've got all these different layers. We can toggle them on and off, do whatever we want with them. We also have our test scene here, which is blank, so it has no layers. But here we can see we can go between any compositions that are open in our project. So the other one, just to show you, we've got contraption. We'll open that up, you get a good look. It's opened a tab here on top of our timeline, and we can just go back and forth across. And we'll see in the viewport here. Very common issue I want to point out to you is if you happen to double click on a particular part of a composition. If you happen to click on a particular layer, double click on it, sorry, you're going to open this separate window where it just gives you that single layer on its own. You don't see any of the other layers, you just see that one layer. So this machine body layer, I've double clicked on it and opened it up. So now you're trying to select other stuff and you're not seeing it come up. Where is it? What's happened? All that's happened is, if you look here closely on the viewport window, we have opened up a separate wee tab up here. So our first tab is for the entire composition, and that's where we can turn things on and off and see everything that we're looking for. But when we double click on any one of these layers, it opens up a wee individual layer view where it just zooms in on that one layer. So if you're wondering why that's happening, it's because you double clicked on one of these layers down here. All you have to do, click up here and click back to the composition, and you'll notice a wee X beside each of these. If you want to close that layer, just click the wee X, that'll get rid of it. One other wee thing that might pop up before we get into anything regarding animation, if you have the caps lock key activated, what can happen is that your scene will no longer update. So if I activate my caps lock here, I'll just move this around. Yeah, there we go. So if I make any change to the composition with my caps lock key activated, my screen's going to go black. Luckily it gives you this nice red warning label here. Refresh disable, release caps lock to refresh view. All I have to do is turn off caps lock So if you're making an animation, you put any text in it, you try to put any title sequences, chances are you're going to hit the caps lock key, or you might just accidentally hit it at some point, and then your screen will go black, and you'll crap yourself and say, why has that happened? Don't worry about it, it's just because you've hit the caps lock key. So that is all I want to cover in this video: setting up your composition, setting up the sizes, importing your files, and a couple of those wee problems that you can come across. So we're going to leave it there for now, and then the next video we are going to rig up these wee guys for animation. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below.